First and foremost, we have 47 counties. It's pointless to start speaking about sharing if any of those counties are not working. We must make sure, sit here and ask ourselves, for one county to be working in Kenya today, what is the minimum we must give every county across this country? Regardless of whether Lamu has 110,000 people, Nyeri has 1 million, Kakamega has 2, Kiambu has 3. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Kenyan. Yes. And if Kenya will develop, let us stop. We are still working around the colonial mentalism. Can we ensure that we sit down as CRA and say, and I'm giving you, I have been a governor twice. The minimum you need for any county to be operational is 7 billion. Take that one, and even if you give 7 and don't give anything else, let them go and everybody will survive. So let's review that. What is the basic share for every county to be operational? Because CRA, in terms of equity and thinking about the future cake, must also incentivize those that are producing. Why are you not looking at that? If you want a bigger cake next year, we are only saying, so if you reduce Muranga's ability to produce coffee, Muranga's ability to produce avocado, what will happen to our GDP the year after? Those are questions we must ask. I may ask you just for a reason, because Kenya has a tendency of saying the central region has always been favored. Do you know how many people have jiggers in this region? Do you know how many of us are living in slums? Do you know how many of us are suffering? Do you know how many of us cannot access Medicare? Yet iko pale. This is a notion that has been created that is not correct, is not true. That because we have had successful presidents, I don't know which president came when, another one came when, and we are not, that is not true. Now for ourselves as Central or CEREP, I have said the pain we have is not getting what we deserve. And since we agreed, we become very frank and talk to each other. From the first formula, it was about how do we take away from Central to other places. That was number one. We came to the second one. Some people tried to contorn and say, oh, now let's change it a little. They did. Even now, let us forget these kind of things. Injustices are injustices, it doesn't matter done to whom. We all agree that the Northeastern requires tarmac. We also agree that Kajiado must have, even if you went to Amboseli, they also need tarmac. As we think about it, let us equip our counties. A county like Tharaka Nithi, a county like Kirinyaga, where my chair comes from, Embu here, look at the amounts of money they are getting. Nyeri too, we are, I think, we are now at 6.1. One of the things I would want the CRA to ask themselves this question. You talk a lot about, oh, you want to incentivize, I don't know whom to do what, increase revenue. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Who bakes the cake? Because once we ask ourselves that question, as commissioners, as governors, as Kenyans, then we will not give someone a knife and another one a panga to go and eat the cake, because it's already telling us that one is advantaged, the other one is. And so we must start with the key. Now that we are here, we want to discuss, you have listened to others, can we look for the knife that we shall give everybody, an equal knife, the same size, to cut the cake? If we do not do that, then let us ask ourselves, who brought the flour, who brought the eggs, who did the baking? But we can't wake up one morning when the cake is ready, all of us now come and start saying, let us start by having it equally. Where were you when we were baking it? We must ask. Have you asked yourself that question? When I look at your formula, whether the first, the second, or the third, it doesn't appear.
But devolution has also brought us challenges, because you find the biggest challenge we get sometimes when we engage with your senators, yet devolution was supposed to bring some equity in the country. We still have that challenge. We are going to install it. But the question we ask sometimes is to share the revenue. It is your responsibility as senators to bear oversight. So we have all these questions coming, and sometimes we realize that, okay, they are to do that you are not able to do with the equity we share. So as we engage, we want you to know that CRA is open, right, to listen to you. And as Commissioner Gedi said, we had tried items last year. Said we wrote to all counties and said, please give your critique of the that formula. Tell us what you think we should improve. As a commission, and engage with the draft before we finally present it to the Senate. Feel free in this engagement. Pour it out. The rest will have nothing, and they will come fighting for it. So if you don't get 100% of when let's say Kisumu looks, they also see their piece, and when Mombasa looks, they see their piece. Listen to you. It means we try to balance so that once you get.
Thank you very much, Excellency.
And we have to want to ensure devolution is here to stay.
Thank you.
Devolution is here to stay. And I would urge, because we are people who are sharing revenues, you are saying that you cannot feel that it is shared equally. No, it is for equity. Ensure that you are not giving somebody who is already developed more money. Ensure that we bring up the other one is somehow crippled. Small counties, you think about it.
What is this formula are we using? Because if you check on the basic parameters, insecurity is not a key factor. So part of the formula would request for major consideration. Those counties that have serious insecurity issues, what are you doing about them? From a budget of 5.4 billion, and if we are lucky to get what now we have projected this time out, an own source of 1.4, which is coming out to 6.9. Health, which is our agenda number 1, is carrying 40%. Why? Laikipia County is very vast.